Hi, this is JP Morgan. Today on the Slanted Lens, we headed out to Taft, California. It's a tiny little town out in the middle of nowhere. It was established in the early 1900s. It's kind of an oil town. Everything in this town evolves around oil because there's just nothing but desert and oil out here. So here in Taft, they have an interesting festival called the Oil Dorado Festival. We thought it was a great opportunity to check out and to shoot with our 18 to 300 millimeter Sony E-mount APS-C lens by Tamron for Sony. So there's a lot of specs, schmecks. How does this thing shoot? How does it handle? You know, what's it like? How does it change the perspective? Let's take a look at all those things. When we're talking an 18 millimeter to 300 millimeter, on an APS-C sensor, that's basically a 28 to 450 millimeter lens. That's a great range. And the reason I love this kind of a range so much in a lens like this is because it gives you the ability to change your perspective so much with a single lens. I found an old tank, and so I started shooting it at 300 millimeters. And if you look at the background, the mountains are in close. The two little tanks in the background are way close to us. That whole perspective is just compressed completely. As I walk towards that container, all of a sudden those two little tanks on the side started to get pushed back and the mountains got lower. Now they're just barely above the tank. As I get in closer into that really 28 millimeters, now the mountains are 100 miles back there and those two little tanks are way back there and you don't hardly see the mountain range at all. That tank just juts up into the blue sky and gives you that really interesting kind of look because it's so isolated and it's just so simple. Also with a lens like this, as I was shooting that tank, I can walk in super close. This will focus. The MOD on this is about 5.5 inches, so I can get in super close and I can see the nut on the container. Whereas if I step back, I can see the whole container. So it just gives you so many different options. So that's what's so wonderful about a lens like this, is it gives you many different options to be able to change the perspective. Now, if you just stand in one place and zoom, then all you're doing is cropping. That does not change the perspective at all. But with a 450 to 28 or 28 to 450, you can now walk and completely change your perspective. So here we are in Taft. We're gonna photograph some of the cowboys and the different people here at the show. And then tonight we're gonna walk around and do a little bit of street photography at night as it's a little darker. So it should be a lot of fun using that 18 to 300 or 28 to 450. So let's get out there and let's take some more images. So I met up with the Sheriff's Posse and the Wooden Nickel Gang. We went out and did some shots of them in this abandoned area. You can take a look at some of those. So what makes this lens so ideal in this format? It can't just be that it's 28 to 450, but there's several other things. One is the size. It's very small. So I'm looking at, with this off, I'm looking at a very compact package there. I've got a small APS-C sensor camera. I've got a 28 to 450 lens on there. It's lightweight and it has VC control. I mean, if you're going to shoot a 450 millimeters handheld ever, you need that VC control, which it has, which is incredible. I love the 3563 because it's pretty fast. When you go to a telephoto 450, you really don't need anything faster than a 6.3. But when you come into that 28, that 3.5 is really nice. So it's super light, it's 21.9 ounces, which makes this very easy to carry with you as a walk-around type lens. It doesn't make any sense to get into an A6600 and not have a very small, compact, lightweight lens to carry with it. Outside in front of the Oil Dorado store, I found an old Model A, and there's this gal in this great black dress with a cowboy hat. I did a bunch of pictures with her in front of that Model A. Let's take a look at some of those. It's so great with this lens to be able to change that perspective. I can get in close, I can get in tight. It's just so fun. Take a look at some of these. We did some night photography. We shot downtown here. I had the camera on a tripod. Just able to burn in some of the neon, That's some interesting images. Got the gal who's running the theater here, stood inside the little window booth, and we got a picture of her there as well. All right, so let's wrap this up. This whole series of lenses that Tamron has done, I think, are just very, very ergonomically perfect for the Sony camera line of mirrorless cameras. Especially when you get into this APS-C sensor line, like this A6600. They are small, they are lightweight. Most of your controls are not on the lens. They're going to be internally in the menus, so change it from autofocus to manual focus. All that's going to be inside. This is just the same. This lens has VC control, which you really need if you're going to be on a 300mm or a 450 conversion for APS-C sensor. Just ergonomically, I think it works. I love the fact that you can focus so closely with these, and it just becomes, for me, a perspective dream. You can play with the perspective with a lens like this because you go everything from wide to super long, and if you're walking and moving, you can really change that perspective, and it makes for a lot of fun. If you're walking around shooting, it's a great street lens, it's a great travel lens. I think it has a great place for those who want to do sports, kids soccer, football, even for somebody who's shooting for a high school football team. This is a great lens for that because it just gives you that telephoto, and it's a lightweight and inexpensive. I mean, it really is a great price point. So I've enjoyed shooting it. I just love the versatility. It just gives you such a great difference in focal lengths to be able to play with. So I really enjoyed shooting it. So there's a look at the 18 to 300mm APS-C sensor for Sony. Keep those cameras rolling and keep on clicking.